The days after the creature's capture passed quietly. The Galactic Academy seemed to return to its usual rhythm, but something had changed. The students no longer whispered behind Jax's back. Instead, many came to him, curious to learn, eager to understand the human deathworlder who had faced dangers no one else could. One afternoon, Professor Zelnar called the class together for a final lesson. Today, he said, we will reflect on what we have learned. Survival is not only about strength or skill, it is about the spirit inside each of you, the spirit that refuses to give up. Jax listened as the professor spoke, feeling the weight of the words. He thought about his home planet, the endless struggles and the moments when giving up seemed the easiest choice. But he had survived because he believed in something stronger, hope. After the lesson, the students were invited to share their stories. One by one, they spoke of fears they had overcome, friendships they had built, and lessons they had learned. When it was Jax's turn, he stood quietly before the group. His voice was steady and clear. On my planet, life is hard every day. There are storms that tear the land and beasts that hunt without mercy. Many believe that humans from my world are only fighters, but we are more than that. We are survivors because we care. We protect those we love and we never give up, even when it seems impossible. The room was silent. The students listened with new respect. Lyra smiled. You showed us that survival is about heart. Jax nodded. Yes, the heart and the mind together make us strong. Professor Zelnar stepped forward. Jax, you have taught us all a great lesson. You are a true example of HFY, humanity, fuck yeah. Not just for your strength, but for your spirit. A laugh ran through the room, breaking the tension. Jax smiled. I did not come here to be a hero. I came to learn and to help others learn too. Together we are stronger. The Academy erupted in applause. That evening, Jax sat with his team. Lyra, Trell, Syrah, and even Vex, the student they had rescued. They shared food and stories, laughing and growing closer. Jax realized that survival was no longer about fighting alone in the wild. It was about friendship, trust, and hope. Weeks later, the Academy held a graduation ceremony. The students stood proud, ready to face the galaxy with new skills and new courage. When Jax stepped forward to receive his certificate, the crowd cheered louder than ever. He was no longer just the human deathworlder who walked into class. He was a symbol of the human spirit, a spirit that could face any challenge not by strength alone but by heart. As the stars shone brightly above, Jax looked to the future. New worlds awaited, full of dangers and wonders, but he was ready. Because he was not just a survivor, he was a human. And humans never gave up. Far away in the heart of the galaxy, the Galactic Council gathered once again. This council was the meeting place of the most advanced civilizations in the universe. Leaders and representatives from hundreds of alien species sat in a huge round chamber made of shining metal and glowing crystals. The room was filled with quiet voices and strange shapes. Some aliens had many arms, others had shining eyes that could see through walls, but all were focused on one topic: humans. Humans were new to this large gathering. Only a few decades ago, they had barely stepped into space beyond their home planet Earth. Now they had spread their influence across many star systems. This sudden rise was both exciting and worrying for the other species. Many called humans unpredictable. No one knew what they would do next. They were not like any other species the Council had met before. Some members believed humans were dangerous. Others thought they could be valuable allies. But one question stayed in everyone's mind. What was this thing called Predator Mode that humans kept talking about? No one had seen Predator Mode for real. It was a secret human ability that made them stronger, faster, and smarter in dangerous situations. According to stories, when humans faced a serious threat, they could enter this state and become nearly unbeatable. Other species found this hard to believe. How could a simple animal like a human become a predator in space? The Council's leader, an alien named Vlaris, called the meeting to order. His many eyes blinked slowly as he spoke in a calm, deep voice. We have watched humanity grow. Now we must decide how to deal with this new force. We will send an envoy to observe their fleet. We will learn if Predator Mode is real or just a legend. The room buzzed with whispers. Some aliens nodded, others looked worried. The envoy chosen was a small group of the Council's best observers, experts in diplomacy and warfare. They would join a human fleet on a mission near the edge of the galaxy, where tensions were rising with other alien groups. Meanwhile, On Earth, Commander Talia Morgan stood on the bridge of the starship Valiant. Her dark eyes scanned the viewscreen showing the swirling clouds of a nearby star system. Her ship was one of many in the human fleet sent to negotiate peace and protect trade routes. But Talia knew this mission was more dangerous than it looked. Her crew was busy preparing for the journey ahead. Engineers checked the engines, weapons officers ran final tests, and communications specialists monitored the channels. Everyone could feel the weight of their task. The galaxy was watching, and the humans had a chance to prove themselves. "Commander, we have detected unusual movement near the asteroid belt," said Lieutenant Cato, a young officer with quick reflexes. "Unknown ships approaching fast." Talia's heart tightened. This was the moment she had feared. "Prepare for possible contact. Alert all units to battle readiness," she ordered. Her voice was steady, but inside she felt a spark, a feeling she had learned to recognize over many years. It was the start of Predator mode. Back at the Galactic Council, the observers activated their long-range scanners. The council chamber was filled with large holographic displays showing the human fleet and the approaching ships. The aliens watched closely as the humans moved with surprising calm. "Look at their formation," said one observer, a tall alien named Zarek. "They are not panicking. Their ships are moving as if they expect this." Another observer, a blue-skinned diplomat called Syra, replied, "Humans have something unique. It is not fear or anger. It is focus. Their leader, this Commander Morgan, commands respect." The council members leaned forward. The humans seemed small and fragile compared to their powerful ships. But there was something about their teamwork that could not be ignored. In the human fleet, the tension grew. The unknown ships closed in quickly. Talia's voice was calm but firm. "All units form defensive positions. Use evasive maneuvers. Remember your training." Suddenly, the unknown fleet opened fire. Bright beams of energy flashed across space. Explosions shook the Valiant and other human ships. The crew tightened their grips on controls. The battle had begun, but something strange happened. Commander Talia felt her mind clear. Every sound, every movement became sharper. Her instincts told her what to do before the enemy could act. It was as if her body had changed, unlocking a new level of strength and speed. She ordered her ships to split into smaller groups. Each group moved like a predator hunting its prey, cutting through enemy lines with precise strikes. The humans were fast, smart, and coordinated. The enemy was confused and disorganized. In the council chamber, the observers gasped. "Is this what they call Predator mode?" Zarek whispered. "They are not fighting like machines or soldiers. They are fighting like hunters." Syra nodded slowly. "We must tell the council immediately. This changes everything." The council leader, Vlaris, looked thoughtful. "If humans can enter this state, they could be the most dangerous species we have ever faced. We must proceed carefully." The battle continued for hours. The humans, led by Talia, slowly pushed back the attackers. They suffered losses, but their will did not break. Each ship fought with the sharpness of a wild animal defending its territory. Talia felt the power of Predator mode grow stronger. Her team's communication became nearly silent, their movements perfectly timed. The humans were no longer just survivors. They were hunters, masters of the battlefield. Finally, the enemy ships retreated. The human fleet was battered but victorious. Cheers echoed through the Valiant. Talia allowed herself a brief smile. They had shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. As the battle ended, the council observers prepared their reports. They had witnessed something extraordinary, humanity's secret strength revealed in real time. The legends were true. Humans could unleash a predator within themselves, a force born from survival, instinct, and fierce determination. Back on Earth, Commander Talia looked at the stars and thought about what was next. The galaxy had noticed humanity's power. Now the real challenge would begin. The cold silence of space was broken by flashing beams of light and roaring explosions. The unknown enemy fleet had launched a sudden and fierce attack on the human ships near the edge of the star system. The humans had been caught by surprise. Commander Talia Morgan stood firm on the bridge of the starship Valiant, her eyes fixed on the view screen. Enemy ships moved fast, their weapons cutting through the darkness with deadly precision. The humans were outnumbered and outgunned, but surrender was not an option. "Shields down to 50%, reported Lieutenant Cato, his voice steady but tense. "They are targeting the Valiant directly." Talia's heart raced, but her mind stayed sharp. This was the moment she had trained for. The moment the humans needed to show what Predator mode truly meant. "Hold your positions," she ordered. "Prepare to activate the defensive protocols." Around her, the crew moved with speed and confidence. The human fleet began to change its tactics. What looked like chaos was actually a carefully planned response. The enemy fleet was aggressive. Their ships were faster and had stronger weapons. They attacked without mercy, but the humans were not afraid. They were ready. Talia closed her eyes for a brief second and breathed deeply. She could feel the familiar shift inside her, the awakening of her instincts. Her senses sharpened. Sounds became clearer and every detail in the room was bright and clear. This was Predator mode. As her mind cleared, Talia saw the battlefield in a new way. Every enemy move was visible before it happened. She could sense their intentions like a hunter tracking prey. Her body responded faster than thought, her commands reaching every ship like a whisper carried on the wind. "Divide into strike groups," she said quickly. "Group Alpha, flank left. Group Beta, cut through the middle. Group Gamma, follow my lead and protect the rear." Her orders were precise and fast. The human fleet shifted and flowed like a single living creature. Enemy ships that had been confident moments before now found themselves surrounded, outsmarted and attacked from every side. In the council chamber, the observers watched in amazement. The humans were no longer just reacting, they were hunting. "This is incredible," said Syra, the blue-skinned diplomat. "They fight like predators in the wild. Their focus is unmatched." Sarek, the warrior observer, nodded. "Their instincts are sharper than any species we have seen. If this is Predator mode, it is more than just a story. It is a real power." The council's leader, Vlaris, frowned deeply. "This changes everything. Humans are evolving in ways we cannot predict. We must learn more." Back in space, Talia's crew pushed forward. The enemy tried to regroup, but the humans were relentless. The Valiant led the charge, cutting through enemy lines with deadly efficiency. Shields critical on Valiant. Kato shouted as a bright blast hit the ship. Sparks flew across the control panel. Talia didn't flinch. Instead, she smiled faintly. Pain and danger only made her more alert. She pressed a series of buttons, activating emergency repair drones. "Keep firing, keep moving." "We don't stop until the threat is gone." The crew worked as one. Engineers fixed damage quickly. Weapons officers fired in perfect rhythm. Communications officers relayed information without hesitation. It was as if everyone was connected by an invisible thread of determination. The enemy captain, seeing his fleet crumble, grew desperate. He sent out a message through open channels, hoping to scare the humans. "You are weak and foolish," his voice echoed in the human ships. "You will be destroyed." But Talia's response was calm and strong. "We are not weak. We are survivors. And we are predators." The message inspired her crew. Their spirits lifted. They fought harder, their attacks becoming sharper and more deadly. Suddenly, the battlefield shifted again. A group of enemy ships tried to escape through a nearby asteroid field. They hoped to lose the humans in the maze of rocks and debris. Talia saw this and acted quickly. "Group Beta, follow them. Don't let them escape, the chase was dangerous." Asteroids loomed on every side. One wrong move could destroy a ship. But the human pilots were fearless. Their training and instincts guided them perfectly. Group Beta moved like shadows among the rocks, cutting off escape routes. One by one, enemy ships were captured or destroyed. The message was clear. No prey could escape the hunters. On the Valiant, Talia took a moment to scan the battlefield again. Her mind was working fast, processing information, predicting enemy moves. She could feel the power of Predator mode growing stronger. It was not just strength or speed. It was clarity, courage, and connection. Her thoughts briefly touched home. Earth was far away, but her mission was clear. Humanity's survival depended on moments like this. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. A hidden enemy ship launched a missile at the Valiant. The missile was fast, heading straight for the bridge. Talia didn't hesitate. She reached out and activated the ship's defense shield. The missile exploded in a bright flash just meters from her. The shockwave rocked the ship, but the crew held steady. "Threat neutralized," said Cato. Talia nodded. "Good work. Stay alert. This battle is not over." As the fight continued, Talia noticed something surprising. The humans were changing the enemy's behavior. The attackers, once aggressive, now moved more cautiously. Fear had entered their minds. The enemy captain sent another message. This time it was a plea. "We surrender. You have proven your strength. Let us talk. Talia considered the message carefully. The humans were hunters, but not killers without cause. They fought to protect, not to destroy without reason. Prepare to receive their delegation, she said. In the council chamber, the observers prepared their reports. They had seen something no other species had witnessed before. The humans' predator mode in action. It was a combination of instinct, skill, and unbreakable spirit. Syra turned to Valeris. This will change how the galaxy views humans. They are no longer the newcomers. They are hunters, protectors, and survivors. Valeris nodded slowly. We must meet with them soon. Their power is real, and their future is uncertain. The enemy delegation arrived on the human fleet. The leader, a small alien with trembling tentacles, stepped forward. We underestimated you, he said honestly. Your predator mode is terrifying and impressive. We wish to make peace. Talia looked at him steadily. Peace is possible when respect exists. But never forget, humans fight for survival and freedom. We are predators in a dangerous universe. The delegation nodded. The message was clear. Humanity was not a force to be ignored. As the stars shone brightly beyond the fleet, Talia knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was watching, learning, and waiting. Humanity had awakened its predator inside. Now the real test would be to control it wisely. The stars above were calm, but the space around the human fleet was anything but. After the recent battle, tension still hung thick in the air like heavy fog. Commander Talia Morgan stood quietly on the bridge of the Valiant, watching her crew prepare for what she knew was coming next. The enemy they had fought was only a small part of a larger, hidden threat, a secret coalition that wanted to stop humanity from rising any further. This coalition, made up of several powerful alien groups, saw humans as unpredictable and dangerous. They feared the strength of predator mode and wanted to contain it before it could spread. But humanity was no longer just reacting. Now they hunted. The human fleet moved through space with purpose. Every ship was alert, every crew member focused. Talia's voice was calm but firm as she gave orders. We have to find the coalition's base. If we let them hide, they will strike again. This time, we end it. Lieutenant Cato, now more confident after the previous battle, replied, Sensors are scanning the nearby systems. We have detected unusual energy readings from the Zarkon asteroid field. Talia nodded. Good, let's move. Stay sharp. The Zarkon asteroid field was a dangerous place. Large chunks of rock floated in slow orbits, casting deep shadows. It was the perfect hiding spot for those who wanted to stay hidden. As the human ships entered the field, sensors picked up faint signals, too small to be a natural phenomenon. The enemy base was close. Commander, said Captain Reyes from the Endurance, another ship in the fleet. We have visual contact. Multiple ships and structures heavily guarded. Talia's eyes narrowed. This is it. Prepare for assault. But this time the humans would not attack blindly. Talia gathered her officers for a quick strategy meeting. They needed to combine strength with cunning. We know their power and we know their fear, she said. Our predator mode gives us an advantage, but this is also a hunt. We track, isolate, and strike. We force them into the open. Lieutenant Cato smiled. Like a pack of wolves. Exactly, Talia agreed. The human fleet split into small, fast groups. Their ships moved silently through the asteroid field like shadows. They scanned for enemies, ready to strike before being seen. Talia led Group Gamma, the fastest and most skilled pilots. Her mind was clear and focused, the predator mode fully active. Suddenly, one of the scouts spotted movement. Enemy fighters detected, closing fast, said Lieutenant Chen, a quiet but sharp pilot. They are trying to surround us. Talia's heart quickened, but her voice was steady. Hold formation. Use the asteroids for cover. Wait for my command. The enemy ships attacked with speed and numbers, trying to trap the humans in the rocky maze. But the human pilots moved with grace and precision, slipping between asteroids, firing in quick bursts. Talia's voice was calm but full of energy. Focus fire on the lead ship. Take it down quickly. A burst of light flashed and the enemy ship exploded in a shower of sparks. The other enemy fighters faltered. They tried to regroup, but the humans were already closing in. In the council chamber far away, the observers watched the battle unfold. Their faces were filled with awe. Humans fight with the minds of predators, said Zarek. Their instincts are not just survival. They are strategy, teamwork, and courage. Syra nodded. They are teaching us something new. We thought we were the most advanced, but they are different. Laris leaned forward, speaking quietly. We must consider the humans as equals. Their predator mode is more than a legend. It is evolution. Back in the asteroid field, the human fleet pushed deeper. They found the enemy base hidden in a large cavern between two massive rocks. The base was heavily defended with turrets and fighter ships. The humans had to be careful. Talia ordered, "Deploy drones to disable turrets. We move in fast." The small repair and attack drones zipped through space, their tools working quickly. One by one, enemy defenses went offline. The humans were ready. Suddenly, the base's main alarm blared. Red lights flashed. Enemy forces prepared to defend. Talia's voice rang out. Now, the fleet surged forward, attacking with speed and power. Ships darted through the asteroid field, blasting enemy fighters and avoiding fire. The battle was fierce. Explosions lit the dark field like fireworks. Talia's ship took a direct hit, shaking violently. She gripped the controls tight, her mind clear and sharp. "Damage report," she asked calmly. "Minor hull breaches, but stable," came the reply. "Good, keep fighting." The humans moved through the base, striking at key points, communications, power cores, weapon systems. Each strike was planned and precise, like a predator disabling its prey before the final attack. Lieutenant Cato called out, "We've disabled their power grid. Turrets offline." Talia smiled inside. "Now we finish this." The fleet unleashed a final attack, overwhelming the enemy forces. The base shook and groaned, then exploded in a brilliant light. After the battle, the human fleet gathered once more. Talia looked at her crew. "We hunted well today. But this is just the beginning." Lieutenant Chen asked. "What now, Commander?" "We prepare," Talia answered. "This coalition will not stop. They fear us because we are different, because we fight like predators but with our hearts and minds." Far away in the council chamber, the observers made their final reports. "The humans have shown true power," said Sira. "Their predator mode is not just strength. It is intelligence and unity." Laris nodded. "We must be cautious but open. Humans are no longer just newcomers. They are hunters, leaders, and a force the galaxy cannot ignore." Back on the Valiant, Commander Talia looked at the stars once more. The hunt was far from over. But humanity had shown the galaxy its true nature. A predator was awake. The victory in the Zarkon asteroid field was celebrated quietly on the Valiant. The crew worked to repair their ships and prepare for the next step. Commander Talia Morgan knew that while the immediate threat was defeated, the war was far from over. Her thoughts often drifted back to Earth. The planet had changed much in the past decades, united under a common goal to explore, protect, and grow. But the galaxy was still a dangerous place, full of unknowns and enemies waiting in the shadows. Talia walked through the corridors of the Valiant, observing her crew. They moved with purpose, but exhaustion was visible on many faces. Battles took a toll, not just on bodies but on minds. She found Lieutenant Cato in the communications room, studying intercepted messages from the enemy coalition. "Any new information?" she asked. Cato looked up, eyes tired but determined. "Yes, Commander. The coalition is larger than we thought. Several species have joined forces against us. They fear human growth and the predator mode." Talia nodded. "They underestimate our will, but we must be ready for what comes next." In the council chamber, the leaders debated the new reports from the observers. The humans had proven their strength, but many feared what they might do next. Laris spoke with a calm but serious tone. "Humans are no longer just survivors. They are hunters, but every hunter has a past. We must understand their history to predict their future." Syra added, "Their history is filled with struggle and survival. Their predator mode is born from that. It is not just power, it is a way of life." Back on the Valiant, Talia prepared to meet an unexpected visitor. A representative from the Galactic Council was scheduled to arrive, a chance to discuss peace, alliances, and the future. When the Council envoy arrived, Talia met them on the ship's observation deck. The envoy was a tall, slender alien named Rin, with silver skin that shimmered under the ship's lights. "Commander Morgan," Rin said with a respectful bow, "the Council has watched your fleet's recent actions. We come to learn, to understand, and to offer a chance for dialogue." Talia nodded. "Then let us speak openly. Humanity's predator mode is not a weapon for destruction, but a tool for survival. We fight to protect, not to conquer." Rin's eyes shone with interest. Tell me about it. How do you control this power? Talia shared stories from Earth, how humans faced dangers for centuries, how their instincts sharpened through necessity, how they learned to unite and trust one another. She spoke of the balance needed to keep predator mode from turning into something uncontrollable. Rin listened closely. Your people have endured much. Your strength lies not only in battle but in your heart and mind. Exactly, Talia said. Predator mode is a state of focus, courage, and connection. It is the best of humanity coming alive. Meanwhile, on Earth, news of the battle and the Council envoy spread quickly. People were proud but cautious. The galaxy was watching, and the next moves would define humanity's place among the stars. In the shadows, however, old enemies and new threats prepared. The Coalition was regrouping, planning its next strike. Back in space, the human fleet received an urgent message. Commander, Cato reported, the Coalition has launched a surprise attack near the Vega system. They aim to disrupt our supply lines. Talia's eyes hardened. Prepare the fleet. We move at once. The Vega system was vital for the humans, a place to refuel, repair, and regroup. Losing it would be a severe blow. The journey to Vega was tense. The fleet moved faster than ever, ready to defend their territory. As they approached, sensors detected the enemy already there, ships waiting to ambush. Ambush confirmed, Cato said. Enemy forces are hidden in the asteroid belts and gas clouds. Talia smiled grimly. Then we will turn their trap against them. Prepare for predator mode. The battle at Vega was fierce. The enemy used the environment to their advantage. Clouds of gas that blocked sensors, asteroids for cover, and sudden strikes from hidden fighters. But the humans were not fooled. Talia's voice was calm and commanding. Use thermal sensors to detect heat signatures. Stay in constant motion. Strike fast and disappear. The fleet moved like shadows, hunting their enemies through the chaos. Lieutenant Chen called out, Enemy flagship spotted. It's heavily armored but slow. Talia nodded. Group Alpha, target the flagship. Group Beta and Gamma, protect the flanks. The flagship fired powerful beams, tearing through space with deadly force, but the humans stayed coordinated. Talia led a small strike team close to the flagship, dodging fire with skill and speed. Her mind was sharp, her senses alive. Prepare to board, she ordered. We take the fight inside. The boarding was dangerous. The enemy was ready, but the humans were better. They moved silently, quickly, and with purpose. Inside the ship, Talia and her team found advanced weapons and intelligence. The Coalition's plans were clearer now, a network of fear and control. Talia's heart burned. We must stop this. Back on the Council, Vlaris and Syra discussed the new intelligence. Humans have broken through the Coalition's defenses, Syra said. They are becoming a threat to old powers. Vlaris nodded. But they also show wisdom. Their predator mode is strength tempered by understanding. He looked at the holographic image of the Valiant. We must decide, do we ally with them or try to contain them? On the Valiant, Talia knew the next battle would be the hardest yet. But she was ready. Predator mode is not just about fighting, she told her crew. It is about knowing when to strike and when to stand firm. We are not just hunters, we are protectors of hope. The crew cheered quietly. The galaxy was watching, and humanity's story was far from over.